Good morning, everybody, and welcome to 10-Minute Mondays. Today, we're talking about the Dynamics 365 Maker experience. So I just wanted to spend a few minutes going through some standard system admin tasks and then talk a little bit about where the best places to do this. Because right now, as a Dynamics 365 system administrator, you have two places where you can access your solution changes. One is Power-Ups, the Maker experience. And then the more traditional one is called the Classic Solution Designer. So today, which is January 25th, 2021, there are some things that you cannot do in the Maker portal. And there are some things that do require you to toggle back to the Classic Solution Designer. So again, I'm going to start off with this chart and we're going to go through it quickly. And then we're going to go into a little bit of a deep dive of some of the things you can only do in the Maker portal and then some that you can only do in the Classic Solution Designer. Again, these things are constantly changing every week, if not more often. You're able to do more tasks and power-ups than you could before. So here's a starter for you. Form design. That's something every system admin has near and dear to their heart. You can still use the Classic Solution Designer, but if you haven't checked out the Maker portal yet, you're doing yourself a disservice. It's so much easier. It really enhances the user experience for you as a system administrator to design your forms. Second is system views, new and existing. Super awesome experience in the Maker portal. I'm telling you, this is the best thing about the Maker portal. You can resize your columns. You can it's awesome. And they also give you a preview of your data in the system views right away. So you can see what it looks like with the actual data in your system. Adding new fields. You can add new fields in either one. It's simple in the Maker portal, like I put here. There's more options. All option sets are global option sets, which is always great. Adding to global option sets, it's a little more complicated in the Maker experience than what I remember what I see in the Classic Solution Designer. But it's still great in the Maker experience, so you should do it over there. Model-driven apps and business rules. I mean, it's going to take you to Power-Ups no matter which way you use. So you should use make.powerups.com for those. Custom controls. So I'm going to do a future session that focuses more on custom controls and specifically this topic, which are available in the Maker portal and which are not, because they're not all available in the Maker portal. The ones that are very simple to implement, very simple, much more simple in the Classic Solution Designer. But there are a few, like the star control, that are only available in your Classic Solution Designer. Field security, you have to go to your Classic Solution Designer for that. Editing relationships, you have some limited access in the Maker portal, but if you want full accessibility, you should go back to the Classic Solution Designer. Field level mapping must be done in Classic Solution Designer. And auto number is out of the box in the Maker experience, which is great because before you had to use the XRM toolbox or custom code in order to implement that. And I did include this last one because I've recently ran into this and it was a little bit of a bummer. You can't change your order of option sets in the Maker experience, so you have to toggle back. So what are the features only available to you in the Power-Ups Maker portal? Well, there's a lot. First here is use the solution checker. I think this tool is fantastic. When you have completed a solution in Sandbox and you're ready to move it over to your QA environment or maybe even production, depending on what your environment levels are, run the solution checker. It's one button. It takes a little bit of time to run, but it's going to check if there is any things that are just out of whack that won't work together. If you're trying to implement something that's going to conflict with something already in your system, this will tell you before you try to pull it in. So I think that's a really great enhancement in the Maker portal, and I really like it. The next few, manage Canvas apps, manage scheduled and automated flows, manage custom connectors, and add to existing AI models. All of these really show you the future of the Maker portal, the future of Dynamics 365. We're taking the traditional CRM and we're really expanding it. All of these things are ways to kind of take that data and connect it to all of the other data sources that you have in your organization. And you can do all of this in the Maker portal, which is really great. Like I said, create auto numbers. That's awesome. Drag and drop some of your out-of-the-box custom controls. Resize view columns to any size. I really like that. This is a super, super cool thing in the Maker portal. And you can sort your views by more than 2 columns if you need to. So now the not so great. These are the things that, again, today, January 25th, 2021, you will have to toggle to your classic solution designer. And I am certain these are going to fall off this list and you'll be able to do them in the Maker portal. You just can't today. So the first one of these is create a new process. If you want to create a new action, business process flow, or workflow, you'll have to go over to the classic solution designer. If you want to edit an existing one, you can certainly do that in the Maker portal. But if you want to create a new one, today you're going to have to toggle back. Change the order of option set values. I've found myself wanting to do this a few times, and it's a little frustrating that you can't do it in Power Apps today. I am certain that one's going to come, but right now you can't. If you have primary images that you want to set on an entity, you'll have to go to your classic solution designer. Audit settings on the entity level, field security, that show dependencies button that you can click in any subcomponent is only in the classic solution designer. So if you want to just know where that field is used everywhere in your system, and you've been using that button in the past, you'll just have to go back to your classic solution designer now in order to see that too. Field mapping on relationships, we talked about that in the chart. I really love field level mapping. I find it to be an incredible tool to increase user adoption because it really does streamline the data input. So you only have to put it in one entity and the value will show up on another. It's a great tool, underutilized by system admins. But today, that still has to be done at this classic solution designer level. This is another one I anticipate is going to move over to Power Apps sooner rather than later. But just so you know, that is something that's in classic today. Create a new email template, create a local option set. Local option sets aren't a thing in Power Apps, which, you know, from a design best practices standpoint, it's always a great idea to use a global option set versus a local option set. And I'm sorry, I'm still saying option sets, a local choice field or a global choice field. But if you find the need and you really like your local choice fields or option sets, you'll have to do that in Classic. If you want colors on your choice fields, your option sets, that's another thing you have to do in Classic Solution Designer. That's really neat if you combine that with the calendar control, because then your different appointment types can show up as different colors, which is fun. I like to visualize my data when I can, make things really easy to see. And then we're down to two more. So if you want to update values on a status reason field, that's in the Classic Solution Designer. I ran into this. I didn't realize that until it wasn't there. And then I toggled back over to the Classic, and that's where I could change my disqualify reasons on the leave, for example. And finally, view level custom controls. So we talked about field level custom controls, and some are in Power Apps, some are in Classic Solution Designer. If you want a view level custom control, such as the calendar control at a view level, you would have to come over to the Classic Solution Designer. So that is wrapping up my very quick overview on some of the differences between the Dynamics 365 Maker experience of Power Apps and the Classic Solution Designer. Right now, in order to fully manage and implement your system, it's a good idea to know how to use both. And again, a lot of the items on the screen that you see here, I really do think are going to start falling off. I think they're going to be available in Power Apps soon. So I hope this was helpful. I welcome you to add comments with questions, thoughts, ideas, other things that you've run into. This is by no means an exhaustive list. These are things that I've found when I've been implementing in Reenhance Dynamics 365 system or for our customers and things that we've had to do. I just think it's really helpful to look at it from a feature level instead of a technical level of what can I do and where should I do it? So again, if you have questions, email me, Heidi@reenhance.com. Find me on Twitter. I'm at CRMHeidi. My blog's on crmheidi.com. And I'd love to hear from you and hear your thoughts on this. Thanks, everybody. See you next week. Bye.